Okay, my dear sons and daughters, students of Prep 3, a revision unit on grammar. I've prepared for you some sentences, and I'm going to give you time to write the sentence and the answer with me. So have a pen in your hand and the paper. One is you didn't ask your parents first. You didn't ask your parents first. You'd ask it. Who can think? Please write it down. Yes, the answer is you should have asked your parents first. You should have asked your parents first. A criticism on the past. I use should have plus PP or shouldn't have plus PP. Number 101, perhaps he left his car keys at home. Use may. Perhaps he left his car keys at home. Use may. Yes, good. He may have left. He may have left his car keys at home. Probability in the past, we can use may have or might have or could have plus the past participle of the verb. 102. I am sure he was eating when I called. I am sure he was eating when I called. Use been. Yes, good. He must have been eating when I called. He must have been eating when I called. Certainty in the past. It was too big, so I didn't buy it. It was too big, so I didn't buy it. Use both. Yes. The answer is what? I would have bought it if it wasn't too big or if it hadn't been too big. Both are correct. Let's move to the next. It was a bad idea to eat that old ham. It was a bad idea to eat that old ham. Use eating. Yes, good. I regretted eating that old ham. I regretted eating that old ham. 105. I wasn't invited to the party, so I didn't go. I wasn't invited to the party, so I didn't go. Yes, use what? I would have gone to the party if I had been invited. I would have gone to the party if I had been invited. The next. 106. I am certain she was sleeping when I phoned her. The same idea of a sentence we have just answered. Yes, it was 102. I am certain she was sleeping when I phoned her. She must have been sleeping when I phoned her. Certainty in the past. 107. I thought it was a letter, but it was actually a bell. Use out. What I thought was a letter turned out to be a bell. Turned out to be a bell. 180. Please do not wait before paying this bill. Do not wait before paying this bill. Use without. Please pay this bill without delay. Without delay. And here without followed by a noun. Delay. 9. She won't forgive you, no matter what you say. No matter what you say. Okay, use difference. Yes, good. What you say will not make any difference to her. What you say will not make any difference to her. She won't forgive you. Let's move to the next 101. I was trying to make her notice me so that I could ask her name. Use catch. I was trying to catch her attention, so that I could ask her name. The next, 111. You have no right to know about my private life, so don't ask me about N. The answer is, my private life is none of your business. My private life is none of your business. 112. You'd better stay in bed for a couple of days, says the doctor. Yes, here I wanted a full infinitive. The doctor advised me to stay in bed for a couple of days. Again, the doctor advised me to stay in bed for a couple of days. 113. Driving without a license is illegal. Use 2. It can be answered in many different ways. The first answer can be, it's illegal to drive without a license. It's illegal to drive without a license. Or you aren't allowed to drive without a license. Yes. Let's move to the next slide, the second one. 114. I would buy this house, but I don't have enough money. Use afford. Yes, afford is followed by full infinitive. Yes, I can't afford to buy this house. I can't afford to buy this house because I don't have enough money. I can't afford to buy this house. Yes. 15, 115. Jenny's mother thinks Jenny must tidy her room. So Jenny's mother wants Jenny to tidy her room. We use here full infinitive. Perhaps James wasn't telling the truth. Use been. Here I want to express probability, possibility in the past. But James might not have been telling the truth. Might not have been telling the truth. 117. We very rarely have pizza for dinner. Yes, use the word moon. Yes, good. But once in a blue moon, we have pizza for dinner. Once in a blue moon, we have pizza for dinner. 118. You will be punished for cheating the test. You will be punished for cheating the test. Use away. Yes, good. You will not get away with cheating in the test. You will not get away with cheating in the test. 119. I unexpectedly met Lane when I was in London. Ran. Yes. I ran into Lane when I was in London. It means I met him by accident. Yes. By chance. Are there any texts left? Use whether. Use whether. So you are asked to use indirect question. Could you tell me whether there are any tickets left? Could you tell me whether there are any tickets left? Good. Let's move to the next. When does the train arrive in Coventry? When does the train arrive in Coventry? Yes, use arrives. Use arrives. I think the same idea of 120, 121. You will have to use indirect question. Could you tell me when the train arrives? Could you tell me when the train arrives? And you put a question mark. It is indirect question. And in general, we use indirect questions with people we do not know, with strangers. Very good. Let's move to the next. 122. Is there a bank near here? Is there a bank near here? You suppose Who can you suppose? It is in the grammar of Unit 6. Is there a bank near here? You suppose. Yes, good. I suppose you know. I suppose you know a bank near here. I suppose you know a bank near here. Yes, very good. Let's move to 123. Step away from the doors. Step away from the doors, or you might fall out. Step away from the doors, or you might fall out. Use stand. Use stand. Yes, someone says stand back. You mean? Yes, I mean stand back. So, stand back from the doors, or you might fall out. Stand back from the doors, or you might fall out. Yes. Let's move to the last one in this slide, slide number 2. She was invited to the party. It is a passive in the past simple. She was invited to the party, but she decided not to go. But she decided not to go. Yes. Use down. So I need a phrasal verb means refuse. Who can guess? Who can guess? What is the phrasal verb means refuse? Take your time to think, because I need to get the answer out of you. Did you think carefully? Yes. She was invited to the party, but she turned down. But she turned down the invitation. But she turned down the invitation. Okay, by this, I covered with you more than 20 sentences. Let's carry on the rest. 125. You should reduce the number of cigarettes you smoke. Yes, I need a phrasal verb means reduce, using the word cut, the verb cut. Good. You should cut down. Cut down. So cut down means reduce the number of cigarettes you smoke. Let's sit down and rest here for now. Let's sit down and rest here for now. Use the word moment. Good. Let's sit down and rest here for the moment. 127. I'm writing about your job advert. Use reference. Use reference. Yes, I'm writing with reference to your job advert. I'm writing with reference to your job advert. 128. Have you been invited to join the party? Use invitation. Have you been invited to join the party? Yes. So the answer is, did you receive an invitation to join the party? Did you receive an invitation to join the party? The next, 130. We can be sure that Jane will help at the party. Use the verb count. Good. We can count on Jane to help at the party. And count on means depend on, rely on. Good. The next 31, 131. The house was completely empty. The house was completely empty. Use the word furniture. And furniture is uncountable noun in English. There wasn't any furniture in the house. There wasn't any furniture in the house. 132, I'm sure. They were asleep during the burglary. Yes, certainty in the past. Use must. They must have been sleeping during the burglary. They must have been sleeping during the burglary. 133. My dentist advised me to reduce the amount of chocolate I ate. My dentist advised me. Yes. يبقى my dentist gave me advice to reduce the amount of chocolate I ate. So I use the noun instead of using the verb. When we got to Dover, the ferry wasn't there. Use already. So put in your mind that you are going to use past perfect simple. So the answer is when we got to Dover, the ferry had already left. The ferry had already left. 135. Whenever he visits us, he brought flowers. If I use what, I want to express a habit which stopped now, a habit in the past. Whenever he visits us, he would bring flowers. Ingrid and Astrid had many arguments in the past. Use fallen. Ingrid and Astrid have fallen out in the past. Yes, good. You need to be courageous and determined in order to be a good soldier. Calls. Good. Being a good soldier calls for courage and determination. Calls for. Requires. Yes. When he sold his first painting, he began to feel more confident. More confident. When he sold his first painting, he began to feel more confident. Yes. But when he sold his first painting, he had become more confident. How long have you known Chris and Jessica? How long have you known Chris and Jessica? Use first. When was the first time you met Chris and Jessica? When was the first time you met Chris and Jessica? Let's move to the last slide. 140. Joanne wrote his first novel at the age of 25. Use writer. Joanne was a writer at the age of 25. Good. 141. I got the book yesterday and I read 3 chapters. Yes, but perfect simple. I got the book yesterday and I had already read 3 chapters. Charlie isn't here now. He went to an art exhibition. Use has. Charlie isn't here now. He went to an art exhibition. Exhibition. Use has. Charlie has gone to an art exhibition. Good. Because he's still there. The last time I saw a good film was ages ago. So the answer is I haven't seen a good film for ages. 144. The opera star hasn't sung here since 2008. Yes, the last time the opera star sang was in 2008. I use past simple tense. The gallery director has just arrived. Use moment. The gallery director arrived a moment ago. I use the past simple. She's never been to a concert. So the answer is the first time she has ever been to. She has ever been to a concert. 147. He didn't start his presentation until everyone was seated. He didn't start his presentation until everyone was seated. Use before. Before is followed by past simple and past perfect. Yes, who can use before? Yes. Who can use? Who can guess the answer? He didn't start his presentation until everyone was seated. What is the first action Everyone was seated. So everyone had been seated before he started his presentation, before followed by past simple. Good. Jim and I have plans to go to the Folk Art Museum next week. Use are. Have plans. So you can use going to. Jim and I are going to go. Are going to go to the Folk Museum next week. For a while I believed in ghosts, but now I don't. Use believe. Yes, good. I used to believe in ghosts. I used to believe in ghosts, but now I don't. The last one, 150, the last time they celebrated was in 2005. Use since. They haven't celebrated since 2005. They haven't celebrated since 2005. By this, I covered many points in grammar. I answered with you more than 50 sentences. And every sentence I told you why it was answered like this and what was the rule. Please listen to this video many times to get the most benefit. Goodbye.